Well, good day, viewers. Today we have a 2014 Chevy Silverado. I think it's a 1500. We're doing the exhaust manifolds on it today. It's got a couple broken exhaust manifold bolts. So we got it up on the hoist. We got the front wheels off. We're going to take the inner fender skirts out to access the exhaust manifolds a little better. And I'll take short little video clips along the way as we go. And yeah, let's get started. So there's the inner fender skirt removed. You might have to remove a mud flap if it has one. And there are 19 T15 screws that hold this inner fender skirt on. Tip the front side down and pull it out from behind this plastic guard here on the bottom of the fender. We're looking in here to see what access is going to be like. And unfortunately, I think it's the very most rear bolt that's broken off back there. You can barely see it. I think we'll probably need to drop the steering shaft, intermediate steering coupler at that bolt right there in the middle. But let's continue. So remove the plug wires because they're gonna be in the way. Now's a good time to replace the spark plugs, but these ones have been replaced. They are in pretty good shape. So I'm going to probably reuse them, but they're going to have to come out of the vehicle, out of the engine anyways. And I think we're doing engine oil cooler lines on this too at the same time, so that'll be easier when the manifold is off. Actually, no, it won't be. It won't make any difference because the manifold doesn't go. The lines go between the motor mount and the frame, and the motor mount and the front diff. Use some penetrating fluid on these bolts. We're going to heat them and see if they'll come out. So there's the 6 exhaust manifold to pipe bolt or nuts off. I was able to get them off with a flex headed 15 mil and a long ratchet, and they are super tight. Sometimes I find if you heat them, they end up galling the threads. I've had some where I couldn't get the nuts off and heating them didn't help. In this case, I have another set of manifolds prepped to put on this thing, so I wasn't too worried if I had to cut one of the studs, but they all came off, so we're good to go. So I remember looking at this manifold and thinking, geez, GM did something right. They put the dipstick tube behind the manifold. But unfortunately, the manifold is not notched, so you can't get it out of there. You have to pull the dipstick tube out. So there's a retaining screw up above behind that plastic cover up there. We have to remove that, and I'm going to try and get the dipstick out of the block. There's no convenient spot to cut it if you couldn't, so I'm going to try and get it out. I do have another dipstick tube if we need it, but I'd prefer not to use it. You can see I disconnected the intermediate steering shaft, so that gives me a little bit more room, and push this steering shaft up and make sure the steering wheel doesn't turn because of the clock spring. So take the oil filter cap off and the PCV tube off. To release these clips, you just simply press these in and slide them off. And then the plastic sound deadener, this thing here, and you can see that bolt back there that holds the dipstick tube in. This one is just a 10 mil head. Some are T20 or 25 or something like that. So let's see if we can get the dipstick out. So I've got the exhaust manifold unbolted from the head and working that dipstick tube. You can see that you're going to have to kind of, it won't pull up over top of this, unfortunately. That would have been convenient if it did, or if this bracket was just clamped on here or something. So you do have to take the dipstick tube out. It's turning, so I'm going to put some penetrating fluid down there on the O-ring and see if I can wiggle it out. You can see that back stud there is broken off in the head. There's a little tiny bit protruding. Yeah, there's a little tiny bit protruding. Okay, carry on. So there's the exhaust manifold off, and I had these off of a 16 engine that I got resurfaced so that we know that they're perfectly flat. And the studs are good, so I'm just going to run a thread chaser and clean up and put a new gasket in here. And now we got to try to get that broken bolt out of the back of the head. So there's a look at that broken bolt back here. It's protruding about 1/4 of an inch. So what I'm going to do is clean the end of it, thread a nut on there, and then weld the nut on it. Put a cap over this exhaust pipe, this crossover pipe. You could use rags. I got plastic caps that fit in there. Sure as shit you'll drop a socket or something down there and you'll have to fish it out. So if you cap it off, that's better. Now you can see that oil cooler line, so I might be proactive and change that oil cooler line while the manifold's off. As you can see, there's a little bit better access to the block heater. That shielded cable is the block heater cord right in the middle of the screen. So let's see if we can get that broken bolt out. So clamp a pair of vice grips on a head bolt close to the weld area. You can see I've got a nut threaded on what's left of that stud, and I cleaned the end of the stud off. So I'm going to go in here with the MIG welder. I moved this harness bracket out of the way, and I did it from the frame and tied it off here so that I can get in here a little better. And we're going to use the MIG welder and see if we can get that stud out. So there is the bolt that came out. My weld wasn't very good, but it was good enough. Now to clean up the manifold or the cylinder head surface. And I said we're going to do this engine oil cooler pipes before we put the manifold back on, just in case it helps give us some extra room. So to do the cooler lines, you have to remove the skid plate. There's 6 bolts. I've undone the two 10mm headed 6mm bolts at the back, and it's leaking out of there now. But there's a bracket here that's bolted to the body, or bolted to the engine block. I think I'm going to pry the lines out of the bracket and leave the bracket there temporarily. We also have to get it out of these clips in the rad shroud and disconnect those not so quick disconnect fittings. So I took the air induction system off so I could gain access to these pipes here a little easier, and I noticed something. That snorkel pipe was definitely not on the throttle body. That would cause a lean problem. I wonder why it didn't set any fault codes, but it's probably able to compensate for it. I'm going to have to try and reshape that. It's been like that for a while. So to get these little clips off, I have to go down here with a little hook of some kind and pull up on the free end of the clip, and don't want to lose it. Mind you, I do have some new ones. Just like that. And then work it out of the groove. I dropped it, but I see it. Now that's out of the way, these lines should just pull out of here. Now, normally if you could twist them, it would be helpful, but they're attached to this plastic clip down here. So I'm going to just try and pull them out. Well, I got them out of the rad, but they need to be folded in half. I might have to take some radiator hoses out of the way here to get some, because these got to go down. Oh well. So I was able to get them down past the other lines. Should have a drain bucket on the floor. I'm going to take this plastic clip off. We got to reuse it, and it'll probably be easier to get the individual lines up. This is why we're changing them. They're rusty. They're rusty here, and they're rusty here, and they're seeping here. Well, I was able to get it out, but I had to drop the two bolts on this side of the transfer case. Just take the two 18 mil headed bolts out and drop the transfer case, and you can just barely weasel it out of there. Now we've got to put the new one back in, clean the gasket surface and put it in. So the customer's got a new one from GM, and it comes with the two bolts and the gasket installed. But we're going to take the bolts and gasket out because there won't be enough room to get between the transfer case and or the front diff and the motor mount. I did take the bracket off the other line, but I'm going to leave this one on. Hopefully that's not going to interfere with anything. And we're going to try and put it in there. Well, that's the lines up installed in there. They're not bolted in place yet, but they're routed in the correct spot. Now, one caution, you see this little bracket, the wiring harness goes over top of the bracket, not under it. At least that's where it was. And new gasket in the back and the bolts in there. Now I blew some compressed air through the lines just in case any dirt had gotten into the line while it was weaseling down behind the motor mount here. I still have to put this up in place. I didn't have to undo the block heater cord after all. Well, it's lunchtime. So you need to reinstall those little clips into the line. You are not supposed to reuse them, but I have in the past. Squeeze them so that they're a little narrower and snap them back into place on both lines, and then put some grease or dielectric grease on the fitting and snap it in, and then make sure with a mirror or a borescope that all three little clips are in place. So when you go to snap these lines in, make sure it's straight, and you can usually hear it click, and look to make sure that all three of the retaining clips are on the other side, and then to pull this plastic secondary clip over top. Now we'll install the retaining snap down there, and the lines are installed. Got to remember to check the oil level when we start it up. So that's the lines installed. Now we're going to continue the installation of this left exhaust manifold. So there's the Felpro Premium gasket set. They're shim steel like the original ones. And they're designed with slots, the two inboard bolts, so you can put the manifold on with two bolts and then slip the gasket in after, which is kind of handy. And the kit actually comes with an O-ring for the dipstick tube as well. So there's the left manifold installed. I haven't bolted up the wide pipe. Plugs in, torqued, spark plug wires on, valve cover, sound deadener on, this PCV hose installed, dipstick bolted back down. When you're putting the manifold on, start the two bolts and leave the manifold loose from the head so you can wiggle the dipstick tube down into place. Don't put it in place because it'll interfere with that one bolt in the middle there, and that'll be the last thing to do, is bolt the dipstick down. What can I say? Oh, one more thing, the exhaust manifold gasket is directional. There is a ear on the back of the manifold gasket. The Felpro ones don't have the hole in it, but this ear goes to the back of the engine. If you try to put it in the other way, it's slightly different length, one of the bolts. Ask me how I know. I looked at it and it looked like it was reversible, but it isn't. So everything's hooked up. I'm going to leave the inner fender skirt out until we get the wide pipe bolted up. Now for the other side. So there's the right side manifold off. Got to put a plug over top of this pipe. You can see how it's been leaking on the back exhaust port, and the stud is broken off, recessed in there an 1/8 of an inch. Oh boy. Oh well. Normally what I do is take a die grinder and auger this bolt hole out just a little bit and clean the end of it with a Dremel tool, and build it up with weld. Fortunately, this side's a little easier to get to than the driver's side would have been if we had to do the same thing on the driver's side, but let's get going. Well, this is attempt number 3 to get this thing out. I got it moving. Welded on to the end of the bolt with a MIG welder, and then I welded a nut on the end of the weld. And if you work it back and forth, be patient, you can usually get it out. If you try to horse it, it'll just snap the weld off. Well, keep working at it. My MIG weld is not centered in the hole, so it's probably that's why you auger a little bit around the end of the bolt, so the hole's a little bigger. I'm afraid to horse it, it'll bust off. Get about 90 degrees now. Is it coming? I think it's coming out. Yay! I won. It was off to one side of the hole. We'll run a thread chaser in there and clean the surface up. Put it back together. So you can see it wasn't very held on there very well, but didn't have to be pretty, just functional. Well, there's the right side all done back up again. Put the spark plugs back in, plug wires back on. Yeah. Got the crossover pipe bolted up on both sides. Put the inner fender skirts back in. So there it is, back together and running again. I managed to get that clamp properly on the throttle body. I'm sure it'll relearn the fuel trims. A little bit of penetrating fluid and never sees burning off the manifolds now. Thanks for watching.